Okay, so welcome to today's webinar, everyone. My name's Damien Berger from Dingo, and I'm a business analyst in the R&D team here at Dingo, so work very closely with the Trakka system, which we'll be showing you today. So the focus of today's webinar is to provide an overview of the major changes that have been made in the latest release that we've done, Trakka 4.0, Asset Intelligence. So I'm going to go through a description of the changes first that we've made, and then I'll actually get into Trakka itself and show you how the new capabilities can be used effectively. There'll also be time for questions at the end of the session, so I can cover anything in particular that you'd like to discuss that you would have seen today. Or I think we can probably say if there's anything that you think of along the way as well, I think you probably should be able to interrupt me as long as I can leave people, as long as you can mute your own line while I'm doing the presentation. But feel free to jump in along the way if you'd like as well. So the new capabilities in Trakka that I'm going to be showing you today, more robust tracking capabilities. So I'm going to look at how the different types of data that are reviewed and displayed in Trakka. Increased efficiency, I'll look at how different types of data can be imported into the system from the user interface. Asset intelligence dashboards, I'm going to show you how the condition of assets and components are now managed in Trakka 4.0. Enhanced reporting, show you how the new capabilities change the way reports can be used. And also expanded trending, so looking at how new sets of data can be trended now, including things like condition ratings as well. Sorry, just issue with the presentation there. All right, let's get into it. So Trakka 4.0 introduces the new concept of observation. So people will be used to seeing samples in Trakka, but now from 4.0, we've renamed them to be called observations, which replace what used to be a sample in previous versions. So this allows the interface to deal with different types of data, so things like fluid analysis, onboard monitoring, mag plug inspections, vibration, visual inspections, thermography, etc., as you can see on there. So in the screenshot there, you can see we're now in the inboxes we're talking about observations instead of samples. But most of the functionality kind of stays the same. You can do all the same things that you could do with samples before, just that we've renamed them to become more generic so that we can work with multiple different types of data. As I just said there, we now also have the concept of observation types for our observations. So that just lets us tag the observations with the particular type of data that they're representing for analysis and reporting at the component level. So as I mentioned, the categories that you can see in that screen, fluid analysis, vibration, thermography, etc. And you'll see observation types appearing in various places in Trakka now, so the asset tree, results tabs, trends, and reports. And as it says, they allow component condition to be reported in a more detailed manner than there was before. We also have the new concept of a create observations wizard, and this is really designed for situations where people might be doing detailed analysis outside of Trakka, but you still want to maintain your component condition and record reviews in Trakka so that they can be included into the overall picture for your asset intelligence. So what we have here is a new wizard which I'll show you later called Create Observations, and it just lets you create what we're calling header observations for a number of components. So not including detailed observation results, but just a header which really prompts a review to come through the inbox to process. So this is a new function which I'll show you later on, which could be useful. Asset and component health. So we've changed the way some of this works in Trakka 4.0. So as you can see, that screenshot there is different to what you're used to seeing in the asset tree. So now from this one screen, you can quickly see the overall condition of an asset as well as the condition of each underlying component, and it's based on the observation types that are being collected for each component. and only the particular types that you're actually tracking on your site will be displayed. So again, I'll show you how this works later on interactively, but in that screenshot there you can see the haul truck B there has got a number of different observation types being recorded against it, and the overall component condition is being calculated based on those types underneath. We also have a new screen called the Component Health View, as it says there, with the introduction of new observation types in Trakka. There's now a lot of component health data being stored, and this new view brings all the information into one place. So basically allows you to review the latest condition information for each observation type. So things like the condition rating, fault effects, and the relevant dates from that, so the observation date and the review date that they were reviewed, and the meter reading, and that's repeated for all the different observation types. So in the screenshot there you can see we're showing you the vibration version of those columns, but if you scroll across in that screen it will also show you the same fields for all of the other observation types as well, so it's a very handy place to get all the latest condition information for all the different observation types on your components, and I'll show you that later on as well. So some details about how the component condition rating works now in Trakka. So the overall condition rating of a component is still displayed in the little icon to the left of the component. So you can see in that screenshot, haul truck B engine front, the little red cross to the left means it's in critical condition. However, the way we've actually calculated this condition has been changed in Trakka 4.0 to reflect the new observation types that we're potentially recording. So the explanation there, basically, if you do a component review, which is a review that's directly on the component itself, that will actually override any of the observation type reviews that have come in previously. So in that first column there on the right-hand side of the asset tree component review, you can see this haul truck B has had a component review rated critical, and that's basically set the overall condition to critical, even though the fluid analysis and onboard monitoring were normal and warning. So that's the concept of a component review. But apart from that, if there isn't a component review, so the rest of these components here are just tracking the observation types recorded against them, and in that case the component condition will be equal to the worst condition of any of those observation types that have come in. So for example, as it says in the text there, if a fluid analysis review is critical and a thermography review of warning had been performed after there was any component review, then the overall rating will be set to critical as the worst of those ones that are coming in. And you can see this in the screen as well. For example, haul truck B front wheel left is critical because fluid analysis is critical, even though the onboard monitoring is warning. And the same for the rest of the components on that screen as well. And I'll show you that in the demonstration in Trakka as well, because it's one of the key things that has changed in Trakka 4.0 to understand. There's been changes to the result views as well in Trakka. Particularly, you can see on the screen there's now an observation type filter, which allows you to drill down to one or more particular types that you want to look at, so that you don't sort of confuse the observation types that you're looking at in that view. And the other thing we've done is it's also possible to clone that results tab and create multiple copies of it to allow you to look at different types of data on your screen at the same time. So if you combine those two concepts together, you can see that you can create a new tab, for example, that will just show vibration data, and you can leave your original results tab just showing your oil samples or your fluid analysis, as we're calling them now. So that's a really handy way of managing your views of results in Trakka, so that you can make sense of the different types of data that you might be seeing. And this screen just shows you some screenshots of how that might be set up. So on the left here there's a view that's got multiple different types of data in it, and then on the right we've set up two different screens that are just showing onboard monitoring at the top and thermography down the bottom. Attachments is another new concept in Trakka 4.0, so you can now actually link attachments to an observation, either when they're being imported originally or actually after they've already come into Trakka. And these can be any kind of file you want really, so images, videos, reports, spreadsheets, any other type of file that supports or supplements the observation data itself. You can add as many attachments as you need, and they'll be automatically displayed in results, as you can see there on the screen, and also on the trends module as well, which I'll demonstrate. And this is just a quick screenshot of what it looks like to show attachments on trends, but I'll show that live later on as well. And the other change to trends is that it's now possible to combine indicators from different observation types together in the same view, and that will hopefully let you find correlations that you might not have seen before. So for example, between fluid analysis and vibration or thermography to give you new insights. And it's also possible to trend condition ratings as well, your normal warning criticals for the component, or the individual observation types underneath as well. So you can see whatever rating you like, whether it's the what used to be called the lab rating, the observation rating, the tracker rating, the review condition rating, or the overall condition of the component. They can all be trended separately on the trends graph. So it's quite a powerful feature that we hope will be useful for everyone. We've also enhanced the reporting in Trakka to be able to focus on just the observation types that you're interested in as well. So those reports there now have a drop-down where you can select which observation types you're interested in, just to make it more clear what you actually want to look at in that report. Some of them you may just want to still be looking at fluid analysis, and that's fine. You can just select that particular option on the observation type drop-down. Our KPIs as well, they've now been broken down by observation type. So as it says, lets you break down the performance of your site or location by whichever data types are being monitored there. So it could be particularly useful if you have different maintenance staff responsible for different aspects of your program, and you want to be able to separate how things are performing by your different locations and also different observation types within that location. So you can see in that screenshot there, it's just we've selected just the vibration KPIs. So those particular counts there, observation count is just showing you this month there's been 26 vibration observations, which previously wasn't possible. And in order for us to be able to get the new data into Trakka, we've enhanced the what used to be called the sample and results import module, and it's now the observation import module. We've made it more flexible so you can do things like choose which observation type you're talking about. You can use either the Trakka component ID or a site-specific identifier if you prefer. You can also direct whether you want the imported observations to go to the inboxes area or to go straight to history. And you can include attachments, as I mentioned before, by putting them in the attachments field. I'll show you that later on. And also, as the observations are processed, we also run any alert profiles and rule sets on the data as well. So they kind of act just like samples that are coming in through our automatic data import service as well, which you may be familiar with. Okay, so I might just stop there before I open up Trakka actually. Does anyone have any questions on the line? I'll just see if I can unmute everyone. No, everyone's good. All right, let me fire up Trakka, and we'll have a look at what these things actually look like for real. Okay, everyone, if you're still with me, let me just go back to the dashboard, which you'd be used to seeing in Trakka. Just wanted to show you on here the inbox section. You can see things have been renamed to observations. So unconnected observations, inbox 1, unreviewed observations, etc. So just showing you that change in terminology. If we now go to the unreviewed observations, or inbox 2, as you might know it, you can see we now have what used to be called the lab rating is observation rating, so it's generic to whatever type of observation that you're bringing in. And you can see key thing here is the observation type field as well. Just let me reduce my tracker size here, get easier. So as I mentioned, the observation type field, you can see that what used to be called samples are now fluid analysis, and there's other types of observations that we've got in here as well. So mag plug inspections, onboard monitoring, whatever types of data that you're interested in tracking on your site can be shown, and you can easily see what type of data you're actually looking at there. You can also use the group by functions that we have here to make it easier to organize your data as well. So if you want to group by observation type, that could make it easier. So you can just look at one particular type of data that you're interested in the inbox. And similarly, you can also use the filtering too. So if I want to filter to say just mag plug inspections, I can do that, and that just lets me focus on that particular type of data that I'm interested in. If you look, I'll just take that filter off. Just want to show you the results tab as well. So if I just select results here for Haul Truck 113 engine, you can see in the results tab now we have a section called observation information. So that's just it used to be called the sample information section, but it's now just summarizing the key fields for that observation, including the observation type as well, so you can always see what type of data it is that you're looking at. And just also to show you, there's the new create observations function available here in the inboxes as well. I'll take you through how that works a little later on in the demo. So next I wanted to talk about observation types. So if I go to the asset tree here, and let me expand one of these assets. So Haul Truck 102. You can see, as you saw in the screenshots on the presentation, there's now a section here on the right where it's showing you all the observation types that have been reviewed against this particular asset. So instead of just seeing the one rating as you would be used to, we've now got a breakdown by the direct component reviews, fluid analysis, onboard monitoring, mag plug inspections, any other type of data that's being reviewed against this truck will be displayed directly on the asset tree as a snapshot of the condition. And also just want to show you, if you look in the results grid again, the observation type column shows you what particular type of data you're looking at. So you can see now with this one here as mag plugs and fluid analysis in the latest 6 results as well. So that field is pretty key in identifying what you're looking at any point in time. And also the filter here on the results tab as well, which I can show you. So if I want to select the other types of data as well, I can do that, and now I'm showing all of the results for this component, and you can see the onboard monitoring has come in here as to replace the magplug ones that were there, because these are now in the last 6 results as well. Another key area in Trakka now, Trakka 4.0, to be able to work with the new condition rating system is the actual component detail form as well. So let me just show you that. If we open up this whole truck 102 final drive left, double click on that component. So it's this area down the bottom here is brand new, and this is a summary of the condition ratings from the different observation types, and this will really let you drill down and see what's going on with your component. And in particular, if you have any questions about why the overall condition rating has been set the way it is, this screen here will let you sort that out basically. So for this particular component here, it's the one that has the component review set on the 11th of November, and because that has been set, this one is actually overriding all the previous data here. So before that review was done, this component would have actually been in critical condition because of this onboard monitoring from January. But for example, in this instance, we might have decided that that onboard data is actually old, and we've decided that it's more suitable to rank this component now as warning, and that's why we did this manual review. Also, I'll show you the Create Observations button as well, so let me actually just show you how that works. So if I click on Create Observations, let me just pick one of these assets. So let me pick a shovel, for example. So I'm going to add all of the components from this shovel into the wizard and close, and this means that I'm going to create an observation for each of these 6 components all at the same time. So close that. Let's create a thermography observation. Let's say that this is actually as of a few days ago, for example, just prompting a review. I can use the wizard to actually calculate what the meter reading should have been on that date based on the previous events that had come in. I can set a observation rating as well. If I'm just creating a placeholder review, I'd probably leave that as normal, and then the review itself will actually set the condition. And I can put a comment here as well. So let me just click on Finish there. It's going to go away and create those 6 observations. And if I then go into the inbox 2 again and sort by the import date, you can see these ones up the top here are the observations that I just created as of the 10th of November. So they will appear in inbox 2 now and basically prompt someone, whoever's monitoring the thermography on that asset, can then go in and do a review based on data that is presumably being stored in their third-party thermography analysis tool, for example. But it lets them maintain that overall component condition rating in Trakka itself. Let me go and show you a bit more about the asset and component health in Trakka 4.0. So let me go to the component health view, which is the new grid that we've added in this version. So this shows a sort of a set of key static fields at the start there, which is similar to what you'd be used to from the previous component grid, except now there's a whole lot of condition information on this grid available as well. So as well as the overall condition rating for the component, if I scroll across here, you can see we've got the latest condition information for fluid analysis, so the observation review date, meter reading, the condition rating, and the fault effect. Fault effect doesn't seem to be in this screen at the moment. Maybe there isn't any. And similarly, if I keep scrolling across for vibration, you can see the same fields are repeated for vibration as well, and thermography, onboard monitoring as well. So this just lets you see the latest condition rating for all the observation types on all the components on the site. So it can be quite a handy snapshot to do any further analysis that you want to do. And in order to do that, you can actually use the export to CSV function to dump this out into Excel, and then you'll be able to do any kind of analysis on your condition ratings. If you can notice that certain components haven't been reviewed for some time, or perhaps there's some kind of trend in the fault effects that are being recorded against the assets as well. So all that kind of data can be reviewed externally in Excel. Let me go back to the asset tree now to show you some of the condition rating calculations. So go back into the asset tree. We can look at Haul Truck 102, as I was saying before. So this one I think I already showed previously. This is the example where the component review has actually overridden the data that was being recorded underneath. But the other ones on this asset here, so if I go to the front wheel right, for example, just open up the details as well. This one here, there is no component review, so the review on this one is just being set purely by whatever is the worst of the different types of data that are being tracked. So you can see here the mag plug inspection was rated a warning, and that's the one that's now driving the overall condition rating. And that's the case even though you can see this observation date was actually in February, and then subsequent to that there was onboard monitoring that said it was all normal in March, but that doesn't matter in terms of the ordering of them. It's just because we know that from the mag plug perspective this thing is in a warning, so that is now setting the overall condition rating. The other thing that is new in Trakka 4.0 with ratings is component changeouts as well. So if I look at Haul Truck 102 transmission and show you the results, so you can see there is a number of observations against this haul truck transmission as late as February, and that was actually well, it was rated as a warning back in January, but because this particular transmission has actually been changed out in September, that means that this overall condition for that component has now gone to unrated. So obviously that makes sense. The actual component itself has been changed, so we're now saying that condition rating is unrated until we get some more information about the new component. So if we get more observations coming in, or if we do a manual component review, that's when the condition rating will actually be set for the first time on that changed out component. So just another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at the new version of Trakka as well. Let me go back and show you some of the results tab now as well. I'll go back to my Haul Truck 102 final drive left and click on results. So I think in this results tab you can see that we have three different types of data being displayed, being onboard monitoring, fluid analysis, and mag plug inspections. But what I can do now is basically use my observation type filter here to just select whatever particular type of data I want to focus on in terms of the trend. So for example, I could just go, I want to see the fluid analysis only. This is by right-clicking on that particular type, or the mag plug inspections, onboard monitoring, It just lets me filter down and only show the ones that I want to see next to each other to make it a bit more easy to use. And the other thing you can do, I'll just select all them again. On the Results tab, there's now a capability to clone the tab and create a new one. So I can create a new tab. I might call it Mag Plugs. And just select mag plug inspections on that one. So I bring that back next to my main results. You can see they're now tracking different types of data, and that will remember those particular settings throughout where you're clicking in Trakka. So you don't have to worry about setting those up multiple times. It's just a one-off thing, and it should remember the settings as you go along. And obviously, I can't demonstrate on this screen very well, but I could also turn on the docking function, and I could take this tab and drag it around to a different screen or wherever I want to put it, and that will let me kind of view different types of data on multiple screens at once, which is obviously quite a powerful way of looking at different types of data. One of the other things which is pretty cool in the new release is the ability to show attachments in results too. So I think you might have already seen them interspersed when I've been showing other things. But if I just click here, we've already got the mag plug inspection type. I'll just make that a little bigger. So if you go down the bottom of the results tab, you can see all the mag plug inspection images lined up over time, and they've just been imported into Trakka along with the observations. And if I want to take a closer look at that particular picture, you can see it's got the file name and size there. If I double click on that, it's going to open it up in whatever application that I normally view my images in. So I can then take a closer look at this one, and you can really sort of drill down and get extra information about your component that just wouldn't have been possible before in Trakka. So it's quite powerful as well. Now we're going to look at the Trends module, which has had a lot of changes to it as well in Trakka 4.0. So I'll go into Trends. Let me use my final drive left. I think we're going to look at the Wear Metals trend view to begin with. So as I opened up the trend there, you can see there's a new crosshair feature, they call it, on trends, so which wasn't available before. So that little box that you can see there is showing me the date on the x-axis, which is 23rd of Jan, and it's showing you all of the y-axis values on that particular point. So it's an easier way to kind of see exactly what those points are, rather than previously you would have had to actually go in and click on each data point and open up the little screen to tell you what the data point was. But this way you can see at a glance what the values are at that particular point in time, so quite useful. You can hide that crosshair though if you don't want to see it, because it can get in the way a little bit sometimes. So now I've hidden it, it won't be showing anymore. The other part of trends that is pretty cool is the attachments function. So similar to what you just saw on results, if I go into events and select the show attachments checkbox, you can see on my trend graph there's a bunch of purple lines that have come up indicating that the observations on that date have attachments against them. And what I can do is then click on that line, and it will actually pop up a little representation of the whatever attachment is under that observation. So because these ones are all images, it's showing me the image thumbnail, but if they were documents, spreadsheets, reports, it would show you like a little thumbnail of the document type as well, so you could decide whether to open that up. And just like in the results tab, you can double click to open the full file for closer inspection. and you can also drag these little previews around as well. So for example, this one here, it's actually getting in the way of my my trend graph, so I can't really see what's going on there, so I might move that down. This one here, actually I don't really need that one, so I can just right click and hide that one there, and that's now allowed me to view my graph again while also seeing what the magplug inspection was looking like at that particular point in time. So we hope that's going to be useful for people as well. The other thing, I'll just hide these attachments again. Other thing that's useful in trends is, as we said on the presentation, the ability to trend across different observation types, which is going to be quite powerful. So if I go back into my, say, my dragline 100, gearbox 1, and let me select a different trend view here. I want to show the gearbox wear. So this is an interesting graph. I'll just explain what it's showing. This is an example of how you might be able to use data from different observation types to actually try and draw some conclusions, some correlations between what's going on in your equipment. So this one here, it's got a vibration indicator being graphed, along with iron, obviously, from fluid analysis. And then the third series here is actually the overall condition rating, which we've been talking about. So that's the worst rating overall out of the different types of data. So this is just an example of how you might be able to look at different things overlaid with each other and come to some conclusions about what's going on. So, for example, in this graph here, you might note that there's been a spike in the iron at around this point in time, and you can see the overall condition rating has been, it was elevated at that point in time as well, for example. So you might be able to spot things like that by graphing things together that you might not have been able to see before in Trakka. And the way you do that is in your trend view setup. Just open up this trend view, and you can see we now have an observation type column in the indicator setup, and that will allow you to view data from different observation types. So if I add a new observation here, I might have some thermography that I'm interested in looking at as well, and now it will show me all the thermography indicators that are available on my site. So I can add one of those in, including things like the actual observation rating or the observation interval for that type as well. So I can then add that back into my trend view as well, and put that on the graph as well to be able to draw some correlations. Just close that one. And the final thing I wanted to show you today, before we get into any a Q&A session, the observation and result import module. So let's go into here. So this is now, as I said, used to be called the sample and result import module for importing samples manually. Now it's been expanded to take in whatever type of data that you're interested in tracking. So in order to do that, you would first set the observation type drop-down to the one that you want to import. In this case, I'm going to import some thermography observations. We also have a connection method option here as well. So this one is whether you want to use the component ID as it's actually being named in Trakka, or if you want to use a particular code that you might have on your site to call your equipment. And that one there, if I set the code option and then that code doesn't actually exist, it won't actually cause an error. It will just send the observation through to inbox 1, unconnected observations, and someone will be able to manually hook that observation up to the correct component afterwards. So that could be quite useful as well. So let me show you how this import module works now. If I click on the open button, let me find where I put these files. So I've just got a CSV file here which has got some thermography results for one of the shovels on this site. Just open that up. It's got the log information down the bottom here. if I just scroll to the right, you can see I've got some indicators set up with some values in my CSV file. Those indicators are just have to be the same name as the ones that have been set up on your site. And you can see I've also got some attachments here as well. So this file is in the same directory as my CSV file, but you can also use the full path name for a file on your PC or your network drive, wherever the file is. You can use the full path there to get something off the network. You can also use a semicolon, if you like, to import multiple observations on the same multiple attachments, on the same observation. And you can also share the same attachment on multiple observations in the same file. So you can see this one here, the first one and the last one are actually the same image as an example. So that means that this file will actually be uploaded only once into Trakka, but it will be linked to the two observations. So that could be useful for a report, for example, that's capturing the details of all the different observations that you're importing. The other thing that's interesting here in the import module is the send to inbox column. So that's the one that now lets you direct whether you want these observations to go straight to history or whether you want them to actually go into the inbox to be reviewed by someone. And that can be used in combination with the actual review on the observation as well. So if I wanted to include a review on this one but still send it to inbox, that means that that observation will actually go to the incomplete reviews inbox for someone to have another look at. So let me just click on import here and show you these going in for Shovel 103. Click on import data. You can see the log is updating here down the bottom. And now it's finalized successfully for those 12 observations. And if I go into the inbox 2 again, have I got it sorted by date still yet? So these ones up the top now for Shovel 103, the observations that I just imported there, so that you can see that PNG file, one of the thermography images, has been attached as well, and these have all just come through from that import that I just processed just then. So you can see it was quite an easy way to get the data into Trakka, as long as it was all set up correctly in terms of the columns and everything like that. So that's how this new data is getting into Trakka. Okay, so that's all the demo I wanted to give today. I think it's now basically over for anyone who has any questions. Is there anything else that people wanted me to either just answer in terms of the new functionality or how you'd like to use it, or is there anything that you'd like me to actually try and show in the Trakka demo? I'll open up the floor. Let me see if I can unmute everyone. Okay, so anyway, does anyone have any questions? Anything they'd like me to show?
Yeah, can you show us the vibration capabilities?
Is that Charles?
No.
You wanted me to show some of the vibration capabilities?
Yes, please.
What in particular would you be interested in seeing? What type of thing would you like me to show? I'll try and find a component that's got some vibration on it. Is there anything?
Okay, I'd just like to see some of the what type of plots are available.
Yeah, let me show you. So it all really depends on what you're actually wanting to bring into Trakka. So we're quite flexible in terms of how you want to actually record the data. So some customers might be you can see in this particular component, I think what these are actually kind of severity ratings for various measurement points on the component, and this might be a rating over a period of time. So, for example, an average over a month or something like that. But there is the capability to bring in some more detailed information over a sort of a shorter measurement period as well, if you'd like that. It all depends on how you'd like to actually track things in Trakka versus in maybe another system that you might be using. But I can show you on this particular example, if we go back to trends, let me show you. So the way that this particular vibration is being tracked, if I set up a new view, let me show you. So it all depends on what we have set up on this component. This site that we have here is actually just a demo site that we've set up. So I think it's based on real life data that we've been receiving, but I'm not sure that I can actually find you a useful trend to actually show right now. It's definitely something that we could find for you and discuss afterwards. But let me just see what this is looking like if I set up a. Let me just save and close this and see what it looks like. So I've just selected some of the indicators from vibration. If I click on Use, yeah, so that graph is not going to be that interesting. I think that's because this component's actually tracking vibration just at the summary sort of level. So the graphs are going to be quite sort of discrete in terms of the movements, but there definitely is the capability of graphing vibration versus your oil sample information, as long as you're bringing that data into Trakka in the right kind of way. So we can definitely discuss that if you'd like to at a later date.
Okay, thank you.
No problems. You can, if you'd like to discuss that further. I know you'd be familiar with Cole Donnelly at Trakka as well. I think it's the person's name who this presentation looked like it's coming from, even though it's not. My name's Damien, but yeah, feel free to send Cole an email, cdonnelly@dingo.com. He'll be able to probably set up a better demonstration than I could manage just now with the data that I have.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Are you able to import CSVs?
Yeah, so that's what I just showed at the end there. Actually, so that's what this observation import module is for. Actually, I'll show you what it probably wasn't clear. I'll show you what that file actually looks like. If I go back into the into my file that I had, where have I got it? In here. So this is the file that I just opened up before, CSV file. If you open that in Excel, so these columns here correspond to the ones that I was showing in Trakka. So these columns here. So you just need to set up your CSV file to be to have the same column names that you want to import. It doesn't really matter what order the columns are in, just the names need to be set up right. So this is the CSV file that I opened up before to import those thermography observations. And then, so for example, if I look at, let's see, I can show you this one that's come all the way through to Trakka. So the crowd, 2nd of March 2014, that's the drum bearing temperature. If I go back into inbox, So this is the corresponding data if I select the right type in Trakka. So it's actually going to be further back on the results. We can show that. There it is there. So 2nd of March 2014, that's the drum bearing temperature that was in my file. So this it's the observation import module here that you can use to upload any type of information that you're interested in tracking. You just need to, the only thing you need to check is that your site that you have set up has got the observation types available that you want to use. If you haven't got anything set up in there, then just contact our product management team, Colin Donnelly, and be able to help you with that.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions on the line for today? No? All right. And thanks very much, everyone, for attending the webinar. And I hope you got something out of it. And best of luck with your tracking in Trakka 4.0 Asset Intelligence. Thank you.